No, he's on.
All right. Municipal Court for the City of Cuero is now in session. Honorable Gary J. Schroeder presiding.
For an old man, I got in here before you did. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Have a seat. Welcome to the court. We are doing things a little different than we used to do them, in the sense that you folks that are here live, I've also got folks live here on our Zoom, sort of a new way of also holding court. All right, let's talk a little bit about how and what we're going to do this morning, and hopefully it'll help you make your decision. What I'll do is in a minute or so, I will call your name, and when I do, come on up. For those of you on Zoom, we will bring you into the room when we call your case, and we will deal with your matter at that particular time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read or explain the charge that's been filed against you. Once you tell me you understand it, then we're going to go to the next process, is to enter a plea. And under the law, you can enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or no contest. If you plead not guilty, that means you're going to contest the charges, which means then you will go to our next process, which will mean you will then have a pretrial with the prosecutor. Now, that's a legal term that means you get an opportunity before you have your day in court to discuss the facts of the case with him. And if you can reach an agreement, that's then presented to me. And if I think it's reasonable, I approve it, and that takes care of the matter. If you cannot reach an agreement, then it's your decision, your constitutional right to have your case tried either in front of me or have it tried in front of a jury. A jury in municipal court consists of 6 people that are residents of the city of Cuero, and we pick a jury, and then we go ahead and try your case. The prosecutor presents the evidence. You have a right to hire an attorney. You have a right to counsel to come into court, and you will have what we refer to as having your day in court. If you're going to forego that and enter a plea of either guilty or no contest, the difference in those is that no contest says you're not admitting or denying the charge. A guilty plea says you're admitting the charge. For most instances, it really doesn't matter which one of those you enter. However, I will say that if you were involved in some type of accident or altercation, you may want to give it a no contest thought. Now, before I go ahead and set a fine, this is what I call a people's court. And what I mean by that is, if you have something you want to talk to me about concerning your case, once you've entered a plea, I'm here to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to take it into consideration in the final disposition. And the reason I say and stress this is that after you enter a plea, because you have an absolute right to remain silent, you don't have to say anything or do anything. And until you enter that plea, I'm going to do my best to make sure you invoke your constitutional rights. It's here to protect you. Let me make a couple of comments, more so for you folks on Zoom. For those of you who have fines, if you want to go ahead and pay it online, you folks too, you can go ahead and Google in City of Cuero, go to the Departments, Municipal Court, type in your date of birth, and that should give you the information that you need to get it taken care of. If you have any problems doing that, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're here to work with you. We will work with you. With that said, let's get started. Ramon Sanders. Sanders? I thought I took that. I went silent. Then all of a sudden it came up. Good morning. All right, I'm looking at a document here that alleges a violation of one of our city ordinance for dogs and cats running at large. That's how it's generally quoted from the computer. Do you understand why you're here?
Yes.
All right. To the charge, guilty, not guilty, no contest. What do we got going on?
My children, we have a dog that we keep inside. She's homebound, real good dog. And they happened to open the door and she ran loose. Officers state that my dog was chasing someone down a runway and the lady was screaming, "Help me, I don't want to die," which I asked for the proof and they told me that I could see it in court. But other than that, I have a really good dog and she is not vicious.
What kind of dog we talking about?
She's a American Pit Bull.
And has this happened before?
Sir?
Has this happened before?
No, sir. She's still a puppy. We normally take her out on a leash to use the restroom, but in this case, I was driving home and that's when my children were hauling her back inside.
Well, those things are going to happen. Any of us that have dogs, we know it. It's particularly keeping them in the house and they want to get out. The issue here is the business about running down the street. That's what I'm a little concerned about. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set a fine of $200 in court costs. It's a total of $276. I don't want you to pay that today. I'm going to put you on what we call deferred. It's a type of probation. My main thing I'm looking at is to see whether any of this happens again. And if it doesn't at the end of 6 months, I'll consider and possibly probably reduce the fine.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
So let the little pup grow up, and y'all try to do your best to keep them inside. And if
you don't mind, my yard is possibly around half an acre. My oldest one did tell me that she did not leave the yard. She wasn't even out of our property yet. And that's when I guess officers had seen her and they told me their side of the story, which it doesn't match up with my children. And I really feel like we're not in any kind of fault here because there's no foul, no harm.
Was it an officer or was it the animal control officer?
Well, they were both.
Both of them?
They were both there,
Okay.
But it wasn't for that reason. They just happened to be there at that time.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't think you're going to have any other problems, but we'll see you in 6 months. Have a seat. We got some paperwork for you to fill out.
Yes.
You're set for today.
Michael Marshall. How we doing with getting a license?
Haven't got it yet. I'm working on getting a job so I can pay my for that drug class that probation wanted me to do. I've been off probation for about 2 years. I was on probation for 10 years and I
Right.
completed it. But
Right. And it didn't show that in your papers. You get a hold of the probation place?
no, I haven't.
Why not?
I don't have the same probation officers. The same one that I had is not there anymore.
I understand, but your file's still there. And what I was trying to do for you is I was trying to give you a break that you go back and get that lifted.
Yes.
And that way then we could go ahead and proceed with that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. I'll just go ahead and we'll set a fine on it and let's pay it and be done with it. You rather do that?
Can we set up a payment plan?
Yeah, sure. We'll do that. You want to plead guilty? No contest.
No contest.
Give you 90 days to get it paid. That gonna work for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, since it's over 30, there's an additional 15, so it's a total of 296 is what you're gonna be paying.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right now, we don't have any online people yet.
Okay. This is like the old days.
Yeah.
Start paying it or?
Christopher Chavez. Good morning, how are you today?
Good.
All right, I'm looking at a charge alleged 48 and a 30. Is that what you understand why you're here?
Yes.
All right, guilty, not guilty, no contest. How you want to do it?
Honestly, I really don't know. Like, I guess I just go, I guess I just go with my contact.
Well, I'm not certain I'm understanding your uncertainty. So if you want to try to explain that, or you want some more time to think about it. All right, we'll go ahead and I'll call you back up when I'm through with the docket.
Sorry.
Yeah. Cody Powell. How you doing?
Doing good, Your Honor.
All right, I'm looking here to see how we are on this. Looks like you made a payment in June
Mm-hmm. And May also.
and May.
He's been paying the 100 a month like he agreed.
Keep this up, I won't see you anymore.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I know it. I know that. Good job so far.
Thanks.
Just keep making the payments. If I feel like I need to visit with you again, we'll send you notice. I know you're working. I know you got things to do. But I wanted to get you back in here after we set up the plan because we had some problems in the past. You know that. So you're on the right track. Keep it going, and good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care of yourself. James Smith. Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing good.
You drove in from Victoria?
Yes.
All right. I'm looking at citation. It looks like 46 and a 30. Is that your understanding?
That's what they tell me.
All right. Guilty, not guilty, no contest.
I guess no contest. I was hoping I could get it deferred.
All right. Let me tell you how I do deferreds. You pay a higher expense fee, and then I go ahead and put that on probation for 6 months, which means no convictions during that period of time.
You know
And
that.
if that's what you want to do,
I'm kinda thinking do the defensive route, and I gotta get my driving record, which I don't have internet, I don't have a computer, and I tried to get it on my phone, but
you know, it's your absolute right. When you have a valid Texas driver's license and you hadn't had the course in the past 12 months, you have absolute right to take it. What I've found with people, because you pay the court cost and you pay a fee, administrative fee here, then you got to pay so much to DPS to get your driving record. Then you got to take the course and they're going to charge you. And you know, when it's all said and done, there's not just a whole lot of difference between that and the deferred.
that's what I kind of figured. too.
Yeah, it really isn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the deferred. Now, if you'll have a seat, we've got some paper. Hang on just a second. Not quite so fast.
Oh.
At the since you live in Victoria, the packet that you're gonna get this morning has an affidavit in there for you to sign that says you hadn't had any other convictions. Send that to me. You don't need to come back.
What do you mean? I can't just sign it here? And give it to
Well,
you?
the 6 months isn't up.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
Come over
that's
every
what we do is we put you on 6 months, and then we used to have everybody come back. And I just decided then that if you hadn't had any other violations, if you send me that affidavit, I'm gonna accept it.
well, I come over every Wednesday anyway.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, you're always welcome to come back to court. I'm just trying to do what I think is
No,
gonna be a little bit
that's fine.
easier for you.
I'll do whatever's convenient for me.
You bet, you bet. Just have a seat and we'll call you up in a minute.
Now we're going to our reset. We're almost done.
We're moving, we're gonna have to push, we're gonna have to slow down. Well, Caitlin's not here. Where is she today?
She went to go grab another file.
Okay.
That's all the basket.
All right. Samantha O'Neill. Yeah, we'll be here till 11. She keeps talking. Good morning, how are you? Okay, let me start out by saying, do you still live at 209 Green? Okay, because I was just wondering, you'd missed the first court. Of course, that was. All right, so you're here today. Got an alleged violation of the city ordinance for dogs and cats running at large. You understand why you're here?
Yes.
All right, guilty, not guilty, no contest. Tell me what this is about.
I was setting up a pool for the kids in the backyard, and the kids were going in and out the house, and our dog got out and ran down the street, and someone called the dog catcher, so the dog catcher came in and gave me a citation for him getting out.
Did you explain that at the time?
I was still outside whenever he was there, but he said that he still had to give me the citation.
What kind of dog is it?
And he's a bully.
Has it been out before, run away before?
No. And I actually sold him because it was just too much. Like that was like I've never gotten a ticket before, so it just seemed bad.
The state of Texas and the city of Cuero sets the court cost $76 and I am required to set a fine of $1, $77. Pay it and get out of here.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be just a moment. She'll call you up.
Okay.
This is the reset one. And this one is called to just by June, not the 14th of this month.
Nothing's been
This
paid.
one paid off. So this-
Kendra Miller. And another speeding. Okay, the first fine was to be paid on the 14th.
The 14th. Probably forgot all about it. I know I've been.
I would suggest that you start to remember. We just don't set these dates and then just let them go so people can forget about it.
I thought I paid some of it off.
No, ma'am, you didn't pay anything.
I got papers from it. I paid some.
Yeah, papers, I want to look at them.
It's at home, but I must have been paying another fine.
Well, let's go ahead and take care of this one you have today. It's 43 and 30. How you want to plead to it?
Not guilty.
And you still live on St. John? No, it says here you live on 402 Frederick Williams, 109. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, apparently you hadn't changed your address. You need to get that done because it's a separate violation of the law. Let's see, we got kind of a short court. I'm gonna be here till 10 o'clock. You go first, you get me proof that you say you've made some payments on it. Otherwise, I want this total of 204 paid by this Friday before noon. No exceptions, no excuses. One you plead not guilty on, we'll send you notice when you'll meet with Mr. Crane for your pretrial.
Okay.
Erica Villarreal. All right, I have a note here from the prosecuting attorney and from my clerks. You signed, there was a pretrial agreement entered. I approved it
Yes.
and you didn't follow through with it.
Yeah, I didn't know there was anything to return. The paper that she had me sign, I sent it back last night because I didn't realize it was something to return, but I am signed up for defensive driving. I have, wills and motions.
We did this back in March.
And I was in school at the time. I was at clinicals the day I had trial. I had to really be patient with my doctor because I was on the phone the whole time waiting for trial.
All right, so you're signed up for it.
Yeah,
Good. And bring me proof of it next Wednesday. I'll mail it in.
She still has to pay and generate. We don't have paperwork or nothing on file for it.
Have a seat. We got paperwork to do. And have your court costs ready to be paid.
It's just the gentleman left that said you were calling back up at the end. He's the only one left. I guess his mom is with him.
I don't know. Mr. Chavez? All right, guilty, not guilty, no contest.
Because, yeah, I know that I was
Sure.
guilty.
All right, we'll take your guilty plea. We'll accept it. Let's see, you got 18 miles over. That's $224 with court costs. When can you pay that? Okay, we'll go ahead and have a seat and we'll call you up in just a minute. We got a couple other folks ahead of you. All right, nobody's checked in to Zoom us today.
no, I don't want to hang out with you. Not a single person.
My God. Well, if that's the case, and it's 9:30. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
We got-
Prolong this for 40 minutes.
He already made that comment.
That ain't gonna happen.
I got out of it yesterday because I had my eyes dilated and I said it was too bright to go. I don't think I can have that excuse today.
That's barely a block away.
It's bright when your eyes are dilated.
Hey, I made the unfortunate mistake of doing that one day